Hey, thank you so much for checking out today's Student Spotlight. Again, today is another special one because it's not just a student spotlight, but it's a senior spotlight. And we have an amazing young man, Jackson Kitchen, coming to just share a little bit about his journey, his faith walk, and encourage us a little bit. So I hope you enjoy today's Student Spotlight as I get to have a conversation with Jackson Kitchen. All right, what's up, Jackson? Thank you so much for joining us today on the Student Spotlight. How are you doing, bro?
I'm doing good.
What you been up to on this Tuesday? Cinco de Mayo. Have you ate tacos?
I have not ate tacos. I just ate a chicken sandwich, actually.
You're supposed to eat tacos on Cinco de Mayo, man.
I ate Taco Bell yesterday,
Okay, that counts.
so that counts.
That counts. That's good, man. Awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us today, bro. I'm going to ask you 4 icebreaker questions, just so hopefully maybe some students who don't know you that well can get to know you a little bit more. Just as soon as whatever comes to your mind, you just answer the first thing. Don't put too much thought into them. But the first thing that comes to your mind. Are you ready?
All right. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. The first one is this. What is your favorite movie?
Batman Dark Knight. The Dark Knight.
All right. Favorite dessert?
Cheesecake.
Ooh, what kind of cheesecake?
New York. Just regular New York.
Just regular. You're not like a blueberry cheesecake, strawberry cheesecake.
I mean, raspberry cheesecake's pretty good too, though.
Okay. Okay, this is kind of right up that dessert alley, but what's your favorite food? Like one food.
I mean, are we gonna say like exact dish, or are we gonna say like
Exact
Mexican
dish.
or Italian?
Exact dish.
I would have to say either chicken Alfredo or pizza.
What kind of pizza from where? Don't tell me Tony's.
No.
Tony's.
I would have to say I really like green pepper, ham, and onion from 5 Star because my dad gets it.
Okay.
And it's different than other pizza places. But I do like, if I was to say the best pizza place, there's a place in New York called, I don't remember what it's called, John's Pizza or something like
But
that.
it's delicious.
It was good.
What's your favorite chain pizza place?
I honestly like Little Caesars, but the problem is they're so inconsistent. You either will get a 5-star pizza or you'll get a half-star pizza. I don't know.
That's true. I just read a post where there was this debate, and this like group of kids were like, "Honestly, Little Caesars pizza's fire." It is funny.
I like Little Caesars, but then sometimes you get in, it tastes like literal card. Like you just want to throw up.
All right, your last question. This is an important one. Are you a dog or cat person?
Dog, for sure.
What are your thoughts
I wouldn't
on cats?
mind. I don't mind having a cat if I have 2 dogs, but I cannot have more cats than dogs. That would be too much.
But only if you have 2 dogs. That's the only way you could have a cat.
Yeah.
Would you make it an indoor and outdoor cat?
My cat is both. So
Both.
she's indoor, and then we just let her outdoors when she wants to go out.
I had a cat, bro. Here's the thing that grosses me out about cats, okay? To be honest. They go in their litter box, they do their thing, and then they jump up on your table and your counters that you eat from. Like, so gross. So gross.
That is true.
Like, cats are just interesting, and then they cough up fur balls. It's like, man, dogs just play with balls and poop outside, like that. Cats are gross. That's my thought. Okay. Anyway, all right, man. Let's jump into a couple questions. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What high school did you graduate from this year?
I live in Athens, Michigan. I live literally in the township of Athens, and I go to Lakeview High School. I actually just got all my dates on graduation, senior breakfast. Our school is going to do everything. Just got an email last night about all those, so I am looking forward to that very much.
Awesome. So you get to you don't miss out on everything.
Yeah.
We're
awesome. Still going to do prom, surprisingly. And then, but yeah, really? I am very much looking forward to that. Yeah.
When's all that stuff happening?
Most of it's happening August, the first week of August.
Very cool. What are your plans next year?
I plan to go to Spring Art University. I have signed to play baseball. I've committed and my brothers played on teams, so that was I'm very much looking forward to that. I'm going to be studying exercise science as my degree, and um, I'm just looking forward to going to a college where I can be in an atmosphere where there's a lot of other Christians and believers. Um, I'm really looking forward to that a lot.
That's so cool. Well, I know I'm excited to come watch you and Josiah play some baseball. Are you going to try to be an outfielder or a pitcher, or don't you know yet?
When I talked to the coaches, they said that they are interested in me playing both, getting to play both sides. That was a big thing that I talked to them about, like one of the first things that I wanted to talk to them about. And yeah, both the pitching coach and the main coach seem pretty interested in that. So they're not going to guarantee me any spots, but they said I have a good shot.
That's sweet, man. Well, I know I'm excited. I know that was honestly when everything got canceled, I was like, I wanted to go watch baseball and softball and track and stuff. I was so bummed to not be able to watch sports this year. But I'm excited that you get to play next year. What a cool opportunity. And I'm excited to watch you next year. So awesome, man. Well, I got a question for you. And I know that you've thought about this one a little bit, but tell us a little bit. I love these student spotlights. I love that we're doing the seniors first. We get to hear from you guys. But tell us a little bit, like, what's been the time because obviously we're in the middle of like a difficult situation right now. Like, this has not just affected one person. Like, you hear people's stories, and, I remember hearing stories of how people went through loss. And I was like, well, I've never been through loss, so this doesn't really apply to me. Well, going through difficult situations, everybody's going through one right now, right? And so tell us a time. I know you have a specific time where God kind of brought you through a dark season, a difficult season. So tell us a little bit about that. And so that way it can, as now we're all going through a difficult time, how can we make it through in the same way that you did?
Yeah. Well, I know I've told you my testimony personally, and what I was actually thinking of was just experience that I had last summer. But I mean, through both of those situations, I really had to stay strong and tell myself to stay strong, because it's not all about there's a lot of things that you have to tell yourself to get through things. It's not just like, oh, I've got to go do this or do that. You got to tell yourself that you're doing a good job, because that's going to be the biggest things, is you questioning yourself. Because honestly, I feel like sometimes it's myself who questions myself more than anybody else.
Yeah.
And to both of those times, I had to tell myself that there is going to be better on the other side. You have this. If this is so bad, then you have to tell yourself that it's going to be better. Like it can always get better, and it's like getting closer to God. It can always be better, even if you're at your peak. You feel like there's always a higher peak. But
so good.
Yeah, I mean, last summer, what I really struggled with was I've always in my whole life have worried about what other people have thought about me, and I used to be a very, very self-conscious person. I would worry if somebody said something very little, I would be like, well, what does that mean? I would read into things a little too far. And I went to my Christian youth camp last year, and in the summer, and it was really nice because being with other guys and just being able to talk to them and really be vulnerable, because it ended up that a lot of them ended up being vulnerable, because if one person says it, then another person opens up, and it's a really good atmosphere there. But I really got through it after that, and then going to the missions trip. That was amazing. That's literally, I feel that's a once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's twice.
I'm dragging it.
No,
yeah, for real.
Twice a month.
No, for real. And hopefully hopefully I get to go this summer because I wanted to go to Camp Faholo because I've never been there.
Yeah.
But that was I'm really hoping and looking forward to that. But
Well, I love what you said. I love two things. Number one, and I don't know if I think everybody is their own worst critic. I think for athletes, it's like, the feeling of looking back, you're like, okay, I had a pretty good game. And then somebody tells you good game and you're like, well, I did this wrong. I did this wrong. I did this wrong. Like, they're like, I remember one of the games that I went to, I think you were 0 for 3 at the plate. And all three of your hits were like literally on a rope, line drives, just right to an outfielder. And it's like so easy to look like, well, I went 0 for 3 and be a critic of yourself when it's like, okay, I actually hit the ball really, really hard. And it just happened. Like one of them, I think, is shortstop, like laid out for it and, up the middle or something stupid. And it's like, but I love what you said about encouraging yourself. I think that's important. And then I also love what you said about being vulnerable. Like, is this something looking back? Now you're a senior. If you're looking back at the last 4 years of, and beyond that, even middle school, but specifically high school, do you think that you could honestly look back and say, like, man, if I would have been vulnerable with people that I trust sooner, I might have been able to be in a different spot, come later in life. But because I wasn't vulnerable, I kind of got stuck in this place. But when I became vulnerable, I entered into that freedom. Would you agree with that?
yeah, for sure. Definitely.
That's so
100%.
good. Love that, man. Okay. So what advice then, kind of going with that whole thing, what advice would you give to a younger student that may be watching, whether they're in refuge or not, or just a younger person who's not, you graduated. I think we can say that. You haven't walked across the stage, but you're done. You've graduated high school. Looking back, what would you say, man, if there was a couple things or one thing that I could encourage you in, what would it be as far as it goes, and just being a student and also like in their relationship with God and their connection to the church or youth group and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah. I would say, obviously, reach out and talk to, it sounds so generic, but reach out and talk to, just reach out and talk to leaders or anybody. Not leaders, maybe not leader in youth group, maybe not, just a leader that you look up to. Or I would say what I wish I did a little bit more is I wish I talked to my parents more about it.
Mm.
I feel like I could have talked a lot more. I feel like sometimes just because I'm an athlete, I'm busy all the time. It's just like, or like my dad works third shift, so I don't always see him all the time. And he's always in that working mindset. When I see he wakes up, he's going to work. And my mom's like me, when we get home, we're just tired. We just want to relax, sit at home, do nothing, sit in our own corners. But for sure, I would say what I wish I did more is just talked more to my parents, or and just reached out about like little things, because little things are what make, just asking questions about little things, even if it's like, because seriously, man, the littlest thing will make your day better. And honestly, the littlest things are life. So
Yeah.
it adds up, for sure. But I would say just reach out and just talk to more people, be more vulnerable to people if you can. People are always, and from a past sermon or thing that you have said or heard, or somebody who's came on here, I remember somebody saying that, I think it was Pastor Peter. He said, just be there to listen to them. Because I've had to do that with a couple of my friends, Costa, obviously. And it's just a big deal to somebody just to sit there and listen to them.
Yeah, that's what well, and I know you got a later in your life, and sometimes we learn, from my perspective, being a husband, sometimes when Adria's talking, I like to go into fix it mode. I'm like a very much like, okay, if the car's leaking oil, let's plug the hole. But sometimes Adria just needs me to listen to her and just sit there and listen. And like you said, that could be a big deal. So I love that, man. Reach out to people, reach out to trusted leaders. I think that's great. Obviously, I think, and you would probably agree with this 100%. Don't be vulnerable to everybody. Like that's dangerous,
Yeah.
Vulnerability is amazing if it's with people who can steward that vulnerability well, right? Because if you're vulnerable with certain people, they'll hurt you with it and they'll use it against you and they'll manipulate. And so we don't want that. But man, Jackson, I appreciate you doing this, man. I love you. I know that I've always thought you're incredible. You are because, I've known like when you're an athlete, you're a great athlete, you're a great football player. We didn't even talk about football. I mean, dude, you put people like, you spun them in circles, thinking of a couple punt returns down the sideline, bro, breaking people's ankles. But the thing I love about you is you've always had a pure heart before the Lord, and you've always made it your goal to know Jesus more. And like you said, I think honestly, one of the biggest takeaways that I might have from this is you said, even when you think you're on the tallest peak, there's always a higher peak. And so that was so good, man. I love that. That was incredible. So I appreciate you doing this, Jackson. Is there anything else you would say? Your parting, I mean, it's not your parting words, but is there anything else you would say?
I will say this. Since you say, is there anything I could go back? Another thing that I really actually thought about is I wish I could go back to that sideline interview at Battle Creek Central. And I don't know why, but I wish I could have just said something that would have been like, all the glory to God or something. I've actually thought about that multiple times. I don't know. You just mentioned football, so that popped in my mind. So that I just felt like I needed to say it because, I mean, I've thought about that multiple times. But, I mean.
It's good, man. No, I love it. In other words, use your platform to give glory to God, right? No matter what that platform is. If that's athletics, if it's band, if it's art, if it's TikTok, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, use your platform to give glory to God. Well, man, I appreciate you, Jackson. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for sharing. I hope if you're watching the Student Spotlight, you were encouraged today. I hope even if you're on the tallest peak, you know that there's a taller one. And if you're at the lowest peak, just keep telling yourself there's better coming because God's for you and he's not against you. So thanks for tuning in today. Hey, be checking back next week for our next Student Spotlight. We'll see you guys later.